We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. Growing criticism over this weekend's cycling classic. Police leaders claiming the city failed to properly staff the event and then forced officers to work overtime. How the city is responding. And travel experts are saying this Labor Day will be the busiest in 3 years. Just how many drivers are expected to hit the road and how much they'll be paying for gas. And topping national news, a young teacher is abducted while on a morning run. The new developments in the case as police make an arrest and the search for Eliza Fletcher continues. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. We begin with a live look from Ocean City, where many people are spending their Labor Day weekend. A lot of people trying to soak up the last few minutes of summer before making that return trip home. We're going to check in on traffic and gas prices coming up in just a few minutes. In a city in crisis, Baltimore is still reeling this morning after a 17-year-old Mervo High School student was shot and killed on school grounds on Friday. Now another 17-year-old is in custody in connection with that murder. Experts continue to warn that Baltimore is on track to see its deadliest year in history, while the police department is still hundreds of officers short. And then on top of that, the Baltimore Police Union now calling out the city of Baltimore, saying it wasn't prepared for this weekend's cycling classic. As Shannon Lilly shows us, the union claims that officers were forced to work overtime.
The FOP is blasting the police department, essentially saying that those officers are being worked into the ground. In fact, they say their members right here are having to work long hours, extended hours with very short rest times. And it's not only taking a toll on them, they say it will also eventually take a toll on taxpayers' wallets. Yeah, the complaint comes after this, thousands flocking to the city for the Maryland Cycling Classic. Well, the union president fired off this letter Saturday saying the city failed to properly prepare for its holiday weekend events, even canceling days off and forcing overtime on officers with very little notice. Well, he says this is in part due to poor planning for special events, and for that they will be making a formal complaint. Now, we also spoke with the union presidents for Baltimore City firefighters who say they share the same problem, and that problem is staffing.
We've worked short staff for multiple years now, relying on overtime to kind of keep this city afloat. And along with the police department, I think we're kind of at the end of that rope now.
And we mentioned the toll that this could have on taxpayers. Well, the union president says we will feel the weight of this when taxpayers are paying that more than $1 million in overtime money. Reporting in North Baltimore, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 News.
In a statement, the mayor's office responded, saying we are aware of the concerns and appreciative of the time and sacrifices made by officers. The statement goes on to say, quote, Mayor Scott and his administration will continue to review our special events planning process. 11:03 now. Here's a look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby will be in court this week as her federal trial gets closer. Mosby is facing 4 federal charges, 2 for perjury and 2 for making a false statement on a loan application, all stemming from her purchase of 2 homes in Florida. The first pretrial status conference will take place Wednesday afternoon. Her final pretrial status conference will happen next week, with her jury trial beginning September 19th. Fox 45 News will have complete coverage of the Mosby trial. You can follow along both on air and on our website, foxbaltimore.com. Trending number 2, Fox 45 News will continue to demand answers this week after a 14-year-old boy was shot and killed in Pikesville Friday night, and another juvenile was hurt. It happened near Milford Mill Academy during a football game at that school. Baltimore County Police are not saying whether the victim is a student, but one parent says that her son went to school with the victim.
I'm just speechless by everything that happened.
That could have been my little brother.
I'm afraid to send my 14-year-old back to school this week coming up.
The other juvenile shot is expected to survive. Police have not released many details about that victim. Trending number 3, the state fire marshal is investigating what caused a fire at a Carroll County Dollar General on Saturday. That fire caused more than $2 million in damages at that Hampstead store. Investigators released pictures of a young boy and a woman who were in the store before the fire. They say they are witnesses, and they're asking for the public's help to identify these two. Police say they believe they're a mother and a son, and they arrived at the store just before 5 Saturday night in a dark-colored early model GMC Safari van. Trending number 4, in Mississippi, people in Jackson will have to continue to use bottled water indefinitely. The director of FEMA says they don't have a time frame for when safe drinking water will return to the city. Jackson has been dealing with the water crisis ever since flooding caused a chemical imbalance at the city's water treatment plant. The city's 150,000 residents have been under a boil water advisory since July 30th. Trending number 5, in Minnesota, police are investigating after a shooting at the state fair Saturday night. Police say hundreds of people were seen running away from the Midway after that gunfire. One person was shot, but is expected to be okay. Now, here in Maryland, the second weekend of the state fair has come to an end. Fox 45 News spoke with the fair's general manager, who tells us it was a very busy weekend at the fair. Now, there had been reports of fights, and officials tell Fox 45 News there were some fights, but nothing that got out of hand.
For the most part, it was mostly kids, and they were fighting. The police got there and just broke them up. As far as I know, there was nobody hurt.
Make sure you download the Fox 45 News app for up-to-the-minute traffic conditions, breaking news, and weather anytime. Search WBFF in your app store. Still ahead, we've all heard it. You can't wear white after Labor Day. But where did that fashion rule come from? We're going to look back in the history books. That's coming up. But first, the Texas governor is taking heat for his comments about survivors of rape and their access to health care. What he said and how people are reacting. But first, a mass stabbing in Canada. More than a dozen crime scenes. Coming up, what police are saying about the motives of the two suspects as the search for them continues.
If you're heading to Ocean City for Labor Day, it looks pretty nice with temperatures reaching the upper 70s and low 80s with a mix of sunshine and clouds. But here, we could be talking storms. I'll break down the timing coming up in my full forecast.
Fox 45 News, winner of 17 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
Topping international headlines, police in Canada are searching for two suspects accused in a mass stabbing attack. 10 people were killed, at least 15 others hurt in the attack. Investigators say the stabbings were both targeted and random, spread across 13 different crime scenes. Taking a look now at our social stream this morning as the search for missing Memphis teacher Eliza Fletcher continues. Police have now officially charged a man with her kidnapping. 38-year-old Cleotha Abston was booked Saturday on charges of kidnapping and tampering with evidence. Memphis police still have not found Fletcher. She went missing early Friday morning while she was out for a jog. Police say the 34-year-old mother of two was forced into a vehicle near the University of Memphis. Investigators were led to Abston after locating evidence that was left at the scene. Reaction to this on social media. You've got one person saying hopefully she's still alive because this doesn't sound good. The suspect better start talking. Another person just saying I hope and pray that she is found quickly. In response to criticism over his state's strict anti-abortion law, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says rape victims should take Plan B, also known as the morning after pill. A new Texas law bans abortion as early as 6 weeks and includes no exceptions for rape or incest. The Plan B emergency contraceptive is not 100% effective at preventing pregnancy, and it only works if taken in a certain amount of time. As you can imagine, there's a lot of reaction. You've got a doctor who says Texas Governor Greg Abbott says women who are raped don't need access to abortion because Plan B is readily available. For now, small problem. Plan B doesn't work in women who weigh over 165 pounds or a BMI over 30. 34.8% of Texans are obese, BMI over 30. Another person, Rosalind, says, I thought Abbott promised to eliminate rape in the state of Texas. Now he's telling women who are victims of violent assaults, quick, get yourself to the hospital or police, prove you were raped, and I'll let you have Plan B. How very magnanimous of him. New York City is suing Starbucks, accusing the coffee chain of illegally firing a barista who helped co-workers form a union. The city says this is the first time it's filed suit for an alleged violation of its just cause protection for fast food workers. The Queen store is one of dozens of Starbucks where workers have voted to join a union. Among those stores, one is right here in Baltimore. Well, here, let's see what the reaction is coming in. One person, Union Maid, saying, I'm so proud of NYC today, hashtag Union Strong. And then you've got another person. Our city doesn't do anything on controlling crime, but they can sue Starbucks. What a mess. Well, still ahead, don't make these mistakes if you're grilling out this Labor Day. Coming up, the common mistakes that could do more than ruin our meal, how they could actually make us sick. And a lot of people are making the most of the long weekend, trying to get in one last trip this summer. We're going to take you to the Bay Bridge to see what it's like out there on the roads. And taking a look at our afternoon lineup, The Real starts at noon, followed by the Wendy Williams Show at 1. Then it's back-to-back episodes of Hot Bench at 2 and 2:30. 11:12 now on Fox 45 News Midday. We are back with a live look over the Inner Harbor on this Labor Day. Clear skies now, but we could see rain move in. Coming up, meteorologist Jasmine Lomax will time it all out for us. 11:14 and taking a live look from Ocean City right now, where many people are spending their Labor Day weekend. All those people out there trying to soak up the last few minutes of summer before they have to make that return trip home. As Olivia Dance shows us, roads this holiday are expected to be busy.
Happy Labor Day. Experts are predicting this will be the busiest Labor Day in 3 years. You can see this is the Bay Bridge behind me right here, and we've been out here since 5 this morning, and there really hasn't been much traffic. But as the morning progresses, more and more cars have been on the road. AAA says that most people who will be traveling today will be driving. Experts predict travel this Labor Day will return to pre-pandemic levels.
Revenge travel is absolutely a big factor in all of the big holiday weekends this summer. We have continually seen an increase in numbers in travelers for Memorial Day, for 4th of July. We're expecting to see that again for Labor Day.
But the good news is the national gas average is holding steady, so you will feel some relief at the pump. The national gas average as of yesterday was $3.78, and that's down from last week. And if you are heading back home today after a nice long weekend, the Maryland Transportation Authority recommends that you leave before 9 a.m. and after 10 p.m. So if you haven't left yet, it's probably best to wait until tonight to try and avoid all that traffic. For now, reporting in Annapolis, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45, Midday.
If you are grilling on this Labor Day, you're going to want to make sure that you are being safe. Don't clean your grill with the wire brush because those loose metals can fall off the brush and then they end up in your food. You should thaw meat inside a refrigerator to prevent foodborne illness, and make sure you're cooking your meat all the way through. Now, to prevent cross-contamination, keep your raw meat away from cooked foods. And when it comes to your fruits and veggies, make sure you wash them before you eat them, and always wash your hands before and after handling food. If you have any leftovers, you may find yourself wondering, well, how long can I keep these? Doctors at Patient First say it's best to follow these tips. Make sure you refrigerate leftovers within 2 hours of serving them. You're going to want to store them in airtight containers, and anything you're not going to eat within 4 days, just go ahead and freeze. 11:16, and now to today's talking point. Growing reaction to the legendary career of tennis star Serena Williams. She first burst onto the scene in the late 90s, following in the footsteps of her older sister Venus. Serena played her first professional match at the age of just 14, and then was a Grand Slam champion 3 years later. Twice she's held all 4 major titles at the same time, and she's also won 4 gold medals at the Olympics. We could go on here. Her time on the court, though, now likely at an end after she lost her final match at the 2022 U.S. Open on Friday. She announced earlier this year plans to step away from the sport, saying she and her husband would like to expand their family. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now, and boy, the end of an era. You know, it'll be sad to not be able to see her out there on the court like that. It was emotional watching this past week, but she's got so much more ahead of her. And go make a family. I'm all for that.
Yes, job well done. Patrice, I think we actually have lived in an era where we've witnessed, you know, some amazing feats, but especially in the athletics world, right? You know, the Williams sisters, crazy, Jordan, Ray Lewis. I mean, you know, like we're in a time that we got a chance to see these young ladies grow up in front of our eyes, and it's amazing. You know, I mean, I can't. It's like a movie, and in fact, go see King Richard this weekend if you have time, because it just puts in perspective this amazing story. It's been so long, you forgot.
Right. And I have seen King Richard, and it is, yeah, that'd be a good one to go back and watch, because to see their journey, and their father believed in them. And I was talking to my husband about that this weekend as we were watching the tournament, and I'm saying, you know, he believed in them, and he said, this is what it's going to be. And that's what it was. His daughters rose to the level that he challenged them to become, and that's a beautiful thing. And that picture right there, the little baby girl, that's a beautiful thing too. So I want her to go have many more of those if that is what she wants.
And we have girls, Patrice, you know, that the impact and that, like you said, that belief and what women have to face, and having those kind of parents and made them become who they are. Again, job well done for the whole family.
I know. Everything about it. Girl power in this story. I love it. It all just gets me right here.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Oh, we have to move on now to the worst weather in America. Severe weather is causing many in the South to have to spend this holiday cleaning up. Meteorologist Jasmine Lomax has a look at the worst weather in America.
We are heading to Texas for the worst weather in America. There were storms there yesterday, and that led to a lot of wind damage. This woman saying, more photos of my poor car today, found out it's likely totaled. So tree on the car. There were also reports of down power lines, which likely led to power outages across some parts of the state. So just awful photos coming in from Texas. Now we have our round of storms coming this afternoon, but we're not talking severe weather. So that's a little bit of good news for for us. But if you have any plans to be outside, you may want to rethink some of those plans. As we head into the afternoon, temperatures will reach the mid-80s across many parts of the state. That's going to keep us above average, but we've got those storms on the way. Then as we head into the night, expect rain, along with more rain on Tuesday and more rain on Wednesday as we deal with a soggy pattern through the middle of the week. By the weekend, we start to dry out and things quiet down. We're also talking warmer temperatures. It should be a pretty nice forecast by then. Today, though, we stay pretty dry through lunchtime. Then by about 4 o'clock, we've got our next round of showers and storms on the way. This continues off and on through the evening. Then we get a temporary break from the rain. It returns by midnight, and expect rain overnight into the morning. For kids heading back to school, prepare for a wet start to the morning. And if you have a commute around 7 o'clock, make sure that you're adding time to that commute. There could be some spots of heavy rain, but then things start to quiet down as we get to about 3 p.m. There still could be a few stray showers. Heading into the night, we've got a better chance for rain, and this will continue as we head into Wednesday. So again, a soggy pattern over the next few days as we deal with showers and storms. Then heading into the rest of the week, we stay mostly dry. It's Sunday when we have our next chance for a few showers and storms. 86 for the high temperature for your Labor Day forecast. 82 on Tuesday, then only the 70s on Wednesday. After that, we dry out and heat up to the mid-80s by the weekend. 85 on Sunday with a chance for a few showers and storms. Then our rain chances continue as we head into the upcoming work week.
All right, Jasmine, thank you. If you are looking to beat the heat this holiday, you might be thinking about heading to the pool. Baltimore City Park pools are open today. If you head out to the pool, send us your photos. Scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in, where you can upload your pictures and your videos. It's powered by Stackla. Still ahead, some bad karma for Credit Karma. Why the company is being forced to pony up 7-figure payout. But first, a Maryland company is recalling mushrooms over concerns they could make people sick. What you need to know if you have mushrooms in your kitchen. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:25. Don't miss this. Dried mushrooms sold by a Maryland wholesaler are being recalled over bacteria contamination concerns. According to the FDA, the mushrooms sold by Tad Pie wholesalers had potential salmonella risk in 4 types of mushrooms under the 3 Coins label of the brand. No cases have been reported, according to health officials. The FDA says the sale of the items has been stopped. Ty Pat and the Maryland Health Department are now investigating the issue. The IRS is acknowledging an error that inadvertently exposed taxpayer information. The omission involves as many as 120,000 individuals who filed Form 990T. That's often used by nonprofit organizations. The IRS form is to report unrelated business income. Agency officials say they have removed the files from public view on its website, and they will be contacting those affected directly. The Wall Street Journal reports the Treasury Department planned to notify Congress about the accidental disclosure. Some Credit Karma users could be seeing part of a $3 million payout. The Federal Trade Commission has ordered the company to pay users after falsely claiming they were pre-approved for credit cards. FTC officials say nearly 1/3 of people who applied for those offers were denied, and that misrepresentation harmed their credit scores. Credit Karma says it disagrees with the findings, but is settling to avoid disruptions. Time now for your lunch break. The pandemic resulted in a major shift in how millions of Americans eat. The U.S. snack market grew from about $117 billion in 2017 to an estimated $151 billion in 2022. And that growth is expected to continue into 2027 with higher sales of chips, snack bars, and candy. It's become a global trend. 64% of customers say they prefer to eat smaller meals, replacing at least one meal with a snack. That's all we have for you. Let's get back over to Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle to see what they have coming up.